evening, my name is Brooke Burns, and this is my presentation on Desiderius Erasmus. Desiderius Erasmus was a humanist educator from the Renaissance period. He was educated in the schools of the Brethren of the Common Life. He had a passion for classical literature and was an ordained minister whose love of learning carried over into his profession. He dedicated himself to becoming the educator of Europe. He was known for merging Christianity with Greek and Latin classical culture. Desiderius Erasmus was a Christian humanist. He emphasized the importance of studying literature and rhetoric rather than philosophical disputes. He stressed the knowledge of Greek and Latin grammar and literature and believed that knowledge was not constructed but was something discovered from the past. He believed that morality and good literature complemented each other and focused on the moral teachings of Christ. Desiderius Erasmus believed that reviving the interest of classical texts would lead to re-examining the Bible as the pure source of God's Word. Erasmus believed that biblical study was necessary for an educated individual. He believed that teaching was also the noblest profession and stressed that teachers should have memorization of importance of understanding content, theme, and meaning. He believed that dedicated and skilled teachers had the opportunity of imbuing the young with the best literature and the love of Christ. He presented teachers with 6 objectives as guidelines for their teaching. These 6 objectives were: discuss the biography of the classical author whose text was being studied, to identify the literary work's genre or type, to analyze the theme or plot, especially the representation of time, place, and events, to appraise the author's writing style, to comment on the work's moral applications, and to generalize about the work's broader cultural and philosophical implications and applications. These 6 objectives were presented not as guidelines to be followed step by step, but as a way to integrate into all of teaching. Desiderius Erasmus believed that educating the young was very important and believed that education should begin at a young age because young children are very impressionable. He noted that parents should begin thinking about their child's education from the moment of conception. He stressed the importance of knowing Greek and Latin as well as their native vernacular. He believed that writing was important and that students should also be versed in note-taking. He felt that conversation between the teacher and the students was the most effective way to learn because students were not only engaged in academic discussion, but were also practicing proper speech. Desiderius Erasmus stressed the importance of a biblical education and the teachings of Jesus' lessons from the Sermon on the Mount. He thought that through education, one would become good. And being educated in both the classics and biblical principles has the power to create peaceful international relations. He believed that studying the Gospels would lead to leading a godly life and practicing Christ's teachings. In conclusion, Desiderius Erasmus believed that education should begin at a young age. He thought that biblical study and the study of classics go hand in hand. He thought that dialogue between students and teachers was very important, and he felt that moral education is also important. In general, Desiderius Erasmus thought that a good, well-rounded education led to a good, well-rounded citizen. Thank you.